All right. Thank you. Bye. I was hoping that was more entertaining than it was.
What you think you can get on the open market?
They listing it for like, or they said like private sale value would be like 12,000,
Oh yeah. Oh.
which I only paid 13 for it. So
that's a
I'm
good.
like,
That's a pretty
right,
good, especially for a car. Well, Audis hold.
right.
Do they hold value?
No,
Oh, okay.
um, is it's just because like the market is so bad
Right. The
right
market's
now,
terrible.
and like this is a good time to sell a car, but buying a car is a bad time.
Yeah.
But me and Tasha, we just kind of sick of it. Like we always have something wrong with it. There's so many bells and whistles and sensors just be going wrong. I'm starting to rethink my whole being cheap and buying stuff really old.
Good.
like,
Good. Get you an old school. Get you a '96 Cutlass.
um, no.
I'm sure that'll draw the attention in the east side of Detroit.
If anybody was in the fence about me selling drugs, then they would know if I bought a cutlass.
Super dark tint.
Nah, somebody accused me of selling drugs at work today, and I'm like, what?
You know, I
Who
would have
told you
loved that
that?
type of. That'd have been a compliment to me, personally.
I mean, I played it off like hmm, and just kept going, and like I didn't, I didn't deny it.
I was, I was Ubering. I got a bunch of Uber stories, by the way. That we can definitely get into those later on. But for one though, real quick, I was Ubering these people, some girl's birthday. It was a group of them, and they was I don't know. I guess they was looking for like weed or something, and then I just started acting like I was like, because they was like, "Where you going?" Because they was like, "Where you going?" I was like, "I'm headed to the trap after this." And he was like, "Oh, the trap." And there's a girl. He headed to the trap. He said the girl because it was a girl sitting in the front seat because there was so many of them.
Yeah.
And so it was a girl sitting in the front seat, and she was like, "Girl, he said he headed to the trap. The trap. You sure you got something on you right now? We could." I'm like, "I can't say get into all that," and just was kept playing it up for a while. It went on for like a good 10 minutes, and they were really like on it and really like, oh, like, yo, what's up? Like, we could do business. And I started throwing out prices, and like they was like, that's too much. uh, oh man, they put me
little
on to
did
some
they,
good music though on the ride there.
I was gonna say, little did they know you don't know nothing about the trap game.
Well, you know,
Nothing, nothing.
allegedly,
What
allegedly.
music they put you onto?
They
Some more
put
Memphis music?
Nah, not this time. They put me on a little baby song featuring the baby called Baby. Have
Isn't
you?
that old? I
It
think
is a
I've
little
heard
old.
that.
It's a little older, but I had heard it, but I had heard it in a while. Oh, I forgot how good this song was, and so I've been kind of playing it like a lot since then.
I I can't think of how it goes though, but I'm pretty sure. I think it used to come on the radio.
It might. I could see that. I could see it being a radio song. I don't listen to the radio, so I wouldn't know, but I could see it being on the radio.
Yeah. I go through phases. I'll listen to it. See what's out. See what's popping.
Word,
Hot in the streets.
word.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
You got to work on your communication skills though.
Hey,
You got to talk
no.
to Mike about
You
that. Or what's his
no
name?
no
Craig,
no
Jonathan,
no.
Kyle. What's his name? You got to work that out with him.
Is he who must not be named?
Okay.
His name is protected.
Okay.
So
I feel it. HIPAA. My bad.
you also need to work on communication skills.
We not talking
Don't
about me
be
right now though.
don't be a millennial in this. Like if I don't respond in text, you could still make a phone call or follow up with another text and be like, "Hey, did you get this?" Cuz in all reality, yes, you did say it in a way that didn't warrant a response. But two, I've also forgot. So, like, I see messages and I just like, oh, okay, and I put it down and go about my business,
That's
whoop de woo.
But that's not.
But I was busy.
You
I
have a
had stuff to
reputation.
do.
Let me give people background because you have a reputation for not
So
responding.
you just airing all my dirty stuff on
Yeah,
the streets.
yeah. Let's get into it. You have a reputation for not being very responsive via text, so it's not.
Okay, keep going.
And it's not my like. So my natural inclination is to think like, oh, he just hasn't responded to this text that I sent out. So I wasn't sure what way to go. And I know, and that text was very pertinent because I know your situation. I know you can't. You prefer not to like record a podcast on the late side. So I didn't know what to think. I didn't know if it was a definitive or not. So I wouldn't have jumped to a conclusion like you jumped to a conclusion in this situation.
I did not jump to
You
a
did
conclusion.
jump to a conclusion.
There was no.
You assumed that I knew that you knew.
I'm gonna read y'all this text.
You assumed that I knew what you knew, what you were thinking. That was the assumption.
It's not an assumption. I based it off of what you said. So this is the message, verbatim, ladies and gentlemen. So we wouldn't be able to record until 7 on Tuesday. But if that's too late, let me know. Ergo, if it's too late, I should let him know. And since I didn't let him know, it's not too late. That's the logic.
That's not the point, though. That's because we are. I just gave them context. You don't respond to text either way.
Okay.
So
and if that is also the context, if you know that I don't respond to text, why would you base it off of text? Like, why would you let it?
Because you had responded just wait a minute. I'll go to the thread too. Because you had just responded previously.
It was 90 minutes apart.
Wait a minute. All right.
And especially at night, because my phone automatically goes in and do not disturb at like 8. So if I don't see it, then it don't get responded.
See, this is why I know I got a reason. First of all, I sent you the text at 10:30 that morning. That whatever, Saturday morning. It was Saturday morning. You didn't respond until like 9 o'clock.
It was Sunday morning.
It was Saturday morning.
My phone says Sunday.
No, it was Saturday.
Here we go.
I'm talking about the text before that. I said, would you still be good to do Ote's episode on Tuesday? You didn't respond to that till like late, and I was Ubering when you responded, and so I didn't see that till later. And then you said you wouldn't be able to, and then I hit you back because he hit me. He was like, yo, I wouldn't be able to get off work till 7. We're trying to, for the back context, family, we're trying to have a guest on this podcast for a while. It's been like 2 weeks of trying to like figure this out. What's bad is I haven't responded to his text where he told me where his schedule was because I was waiting on the definitive from you. So he's still just out here thinking I'm just stalled, like just stood him up. But anyway, so he didn't respond. So I hit him back Sunday morning like, yo, because he hit me like, yo, Ote, the guest we're trying to have, he hit me back and was like, yo, I wouldn't be able to do it till like 7 on Tuesday. And I didn't respond, but I was like, okay, I'm going to make sure that's cool with Kyle or see like what your situation is. And so I hit you so he wouldn't be able to record till 7 on Tuesday, but if that's too late, let me know. I shouldn't have gave you an out with the but if that's too late. I should have just said he wouldn't be able to respond or he wouldn't be able to record till 7 on Tuesday because for some reason you took that as let me just ghost him.
Thank you for taking some ownership here.
I'm not. I really am not.
You just said maybe you should have done something different.
It's more so frustration.
That's ownership.
Like,
but again, if it's known in the streets that I'm notorious for not responding to text. Especially
you're not gonna
in
answer the phone either. You don't answer
the
don't say it like you be answering the phone. Like don't do this to me. Like you showing out in front of company. That call would have went to voicemail so quick. And then what? What did I got to do? I got to email you? DM you on Instagram?
I said
hit you on Facebook?
I said you could have done like a follow-up text and be like, hey, did you get my message?
Man.
Did you get my call? Whatever.
Man, whatever. I can't wait till your mama see this part. She's going to confirm everything I'm saying. That's right. He don't be text. That's right. Get him, B. I got you, Geneva. I got you. I'm fighting for all of us. I'm fighting for Tasha. I'm fighting for everybody who's ever had a text ignored by you.
Oh, I had a friend not invite me to his wedding over this stuff. He just straight up didn't invite me. Got married, everything. I'm just like, yo, that's so petty and childish.
Mm.
We still not all the way cool. Cause then I invited him to my wedding, and then he gonna hit me with what did he say? He's like, oh, he kind of played like a who this type thing. Like,
Oh.
and I was like, hey, what's your address? And he was like, why do you need to know? And I'm like, because I'm trying to send out these invites. And he's just like, oh, so you invite me to the thing that we don't even like talk about? We don't even talk anymore or something like that? And I'm like, all right, never mind then. Like, it's just,
Man.
yeah.
My cousin did that to me last year when I was in Philly. Out of the blue, we was with people, random people, and she was like, "And he skipped my wedding." I was like, "Wait, that's not the. Wait a minute, we eating enchiladas, and having a good time, laughing and kicking it." I was like, "Whoa."
And he skipped my way.
I did not. That's not. I really wanted to go. Actually, if she would have knew my situation. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Oh yeah, your IBS was kicking up, flaring up.
Nah, that wasn't
you just
it.
couldn't make it.
That wasn't the situation at all.
I
I still would have
understand.
came with IBS.
I understand.
The IBS
Trust
wouldn't have kept me back, held me back.
Trust me. If there's anybody in the world that believe you, I believe you.
No.
That IBS.
I've been speaking of. Never mind. We don't got to get into that. But
you actually got an IBS story?
no, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know yet. I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
This is what you get for making fun of all my GI issues.
I never made fun of them.
Ooh, speaking of that, I was supposed to order a pizza. I'm going to be doing that while we're on the podcast, and it'll probably get here while we're still on the podcast. So just...
Is that going... Are you sure that's safe?
I don't give a damn about safe anymore. Okay. It's been 3 months. 3 months of this. Nah, so what happened though, I went to the doctor Thursday, and that was like my follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some other doctor follow-ups that I was supposed to have in between that time.
Yeah.
I didn't know how important those actually were, and that then she finally explained, well, you need to go back to the GI doctor so they can do another scope. And I'm like, dang, I got to get another scope. So they'll have to do that to actually confirm if the diet is actually doing anything. I thought we were basing it off of, you feel better, then cool, the diet's doing something. And then we like slowly introduce things. So because of that, well, actually, I don't even know if it's the same reasoning, but then she was like, all right, well, we'll see you back in 3 to 6 months. I'm like, 3 to 6 months? This first time was only supposed to be 1 to 2 months. And then she was out on vacation for like a month. So that made it 3 months. And now it's 3 to 6 months. So I was just like, F it. I'm going to Dayton. I went to Dayton over the weekend. And I was like, y'all, I can eat everything. Just get... just bring it all out. Like, they were trying to figure out how to like care for me and how to make things that I could actually eat. I'm like, don't even worry about it. I had so many donuts this weekend.
Now, did those affect you?
I mean, I've been a little gassy, but that ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? But I think that was also because I had some like Brussels sprouts and broccoli. Like, that stuff just makes you gassy, period. So
touche.
But yeah, I went to 2 different donut shops. I went to town. Like, I ordered probably a dozen donuts and ate all of them within a couple days.
Wow.
Probably more than a dozen. I don't normally go that crazy, but it's been so long since I've had a baked good that wasn't gluten-free, vegan, and nut-free. Like, I just had to avoid everything. And
you just back off the saddle.
I'm
Binging
off the
out.
saddle. So I mean, I'm gonna get back on, but I had a craving for pizza though over the weekend, and it hasn't been satisfied yet. So once I have this pizza, I'll probably get back on it,
Okay.
or I might just go to the end of the week. I don't know.
Well, Godspeed with that. Well, that is the frustrating thing about doctors, though, is like the time, like they don't always know. And I'm not advocating not to go to the doctor here, but like
Yeah,
sometimes they don't really have the answers you think they have, and then that's even more frustrating.
yeah,
Um, or it takes a little more time than you expect. And yeah,
yep,
and then you go to
yeah.
and the WebMD ain't no help because they'll make you feel like you about to die. So it's just I don't know what to do.
For sure.
I'm about to go on this holistic kick. I'm about to do that. Maybe that's the answer. Be one of them
Um,
woke people that don't, that's real like strict about stuff.
I don't know if that's the answer though either.
I don't know either. I don't. It's not, and I know I wouldn't last. I'd last like 6 hours.
Nah, it's funny that whole thing with the holistic stuff and like taking. Well, I guess it's a little bit different. I think I'm thinking more conversation. Some conversations I've had where people are they don't trust like medication and prescriptions because it's
Word.
something that you have to keep taking.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, but you have to keep taking like these herbal supplements though too, like or whatever the holistic thing is. Like you have to
Touche.
still keep doing those. So,
Yeah.
but I that's why I said it. Maybe it's something different because it's they don't know what's in it,
Right.
and people are just like, nah, I can't just put anything in my body. But yeah, you was out with Craig last night.
Wait a minute. How we get here?
What?
How we get here? Whoa. This took a turn.
It always will. And that's why this is the podcast that shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
I'm your host, K. Oh, I can't say K baby. Kyle. Dang it, that's so whack.
I thought you was doing the Slim Mahogany.
Slim Mahogany. It's just a new name every time.
Oh, okay. I'm not that creative. I'm gonna just stick with V Baby until further notice. How you doing, man? You good?
I'm straight, man. It's a lot going on. I got 2 dogs now. We both regret it. Tasha was like, I shouldn't have let the idea of returning him creep into my mind because now that's all she thinks about.
It's not working out.
Uh, he's just a bit much. Like I think it would
You got a lot of energy.
a ton of it. What is happening? He's got a ton of energy,
Ooh.
but he's like one and strong.
Mm.
He's very strong
Mm.
and just rambunctious.
Mm.
And I think Terrence probably was the same way when we got him, like as a puppy and all that stuff,
Right.
like trying to house train him and like walk him and get him to like be more docile. But this dog, he's just a lot bigger and a lot stronger, so it just makes it a little more difficult
Mm.
because especially walking, like Tasha can't walk him. And that kind of adds a damper because like I'll have to be the only one that can walk him, at least at this point until he gets better at it. But
Cause he want to
we
chase
went
everything. He kind of like at that point where he like
kind of he does want to chase stuff, but he just is a runner. Like he just wants to run. He's a Rhodesian Ridgeback mix, which that's them. Like
you
they
gotta buy a
run a
farm
lot.
and let him like just get all
Pretty
this energy
much.
out.
pretty much. But we have a field that is the school that's a block over.
Mm-hmm.
We usually go over to the field and let Terrence run around and stuff. but Terrence won't do it. Like he doesn't run very far away before he'll like stop and make sure you back there. So he likes to stay close. This dude don't care about that. And it's not all closed in, so we just can't let him do it because if we just let him get away, we're not catching him. So I don't know. So what happened? We went to Dayton, got there Thursday night. Tasha let him out, but like on the leash, and like took him out so he could use the restroom and stuff. And then he just took off on her, and she couldn't hold on to him, and he just like slipped out of her hands. So we go driving around, walking around, didn't really have a flashlight or nothing. We're just using the headlights on the car, just like midnight, trying to find this dog for like half hour, 45 minutes. And we saw him a couple times get out, try to lure him in, and he would just like take off running again. And he's like running all through the neighborhood though. Like we found him in my aunt's yard, just running through their yard.
That's funny.
Running through their yard, running across the street, like doing all kind of stuff. And we finally just had to, we didn't have a treat at first because we just immediately went and started looking. And then we got treats. And then he would come over for treats. He's very into food. So that's like the easiest way to
he said he ain't been
motivate
eating.
him.
He ain't been eating. So.
Nah, yeah, he's pretty scrawny right now. That's why I think I was so surprised of how strong he is, even though he's so scrawny right now. Yeah. Like he almost broke my mom's door via me. Like he just darted off and I left his leash too long, but I was holding on and he just like pulled me out. I ran into the door. Like my chest just ran into the door and her sliding door.
Yeah.
And I like had to hold on with my other arm as I was like falling outside of the house. Just like, dude, he's nuts.
Have you introduced him and Terrence together yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Because he had kennel cough.
Oh, okay.
And they say that's contagious for like 10 to 14 days. So on the safe side, we're just waiting. So
you kept Terrence in Detroit and took him down to Dayton?
No, we took them both, but we just kept them separated in the car.
Oh,
so like,
okay.
We're naming him Barkley.
Okay.
So Barkley is in the back in the crate, and Terrence was in the middle, and then we were in the two front seats, so they couldn't like be face to face at all. Yeah.
Well, you gotta, he's like, he's been through a lot.
Yeah, whatever. Nah, I can tell though. Like, it's like, I don't know if you've noticed this, but when you meet people, if you look at their eyes and like how wide are their eyes, like that's, to me, I usually look at that as like, what have you been through? Or like you maybe have had a harder life. I don't really know why that happens.
So the wider, the less trauma, and the dark, and the more like yellow and reddish, the more trauma. I get it. Yeah.
His eyes are basically brown. Terrence is all white, and it's funny because we look at it as Terrence was like the privileged kid growing up, didn't have much, and like he's from the streets, and he's trying to like give him the street cred and like learn the ropes, and Terrence is trying to teach him book knowledge. Yep. I don't think Terrence has adjusted super well though either, because he just be sad. He don't be wanting to eat.
Oh, buddy.
He started eating again, but for a little bit he wasn't eating. He's like, y'all bring this dog in the house. You give him my bowl. You give him my crate. You got all this space, all this attention. I don't like that nigga. Shut up. But it's all good. We'll see what happens.
Word. Yeah. Like I was telling you, I've been Ubering, man, and you meet a lot of interesting people.
I did it for a little bit.
You
I
meet
know.
you meet some characters. I
Mhm.
gave these Jamaicans a ride, like a group of them, these boys. They was young, probably in their
Mhm.
teens, late teens, maybe like early 20s at the oldest, probably in their teens though. And I've never heard like what's it, patois? That's their language. Is that the Jamaican like dialect? Is that what it's called?
I thought it was Jamaican.
You stupid American. Goodness gracious. Whatever their dialect is, that was my first time hearing like authentic, like
They was just saying that.
I heard blood clot
Go
and
bumble clot.
I did hear blood
Aye.
clot in there at some point, but yeah, they like
Watch out, boy.
it's like indecipherable to like the American ear. I didn't know what they were talking about. They could have been plotting on me, and I would have had no idea.
Wait, but don't they? So it's like a different language. I thought they still spoke
I mean, I
English. It's
heard some
just like
English words in there, but it's like they get
it's
their
just so heavily like
yeah, they get like it's like yeah. Imagine
their
being from a
own
foreign
dialect.
country and like hearing like some niggas from like the hood like talking where they're using a lot of like
Right,
it was almost like that where it was like okay, I
right.
hear English like words thrown in here every now and again, but they were really talking like a totally different language. I didn't know what they were talking about at all, like
I
at all.
mean, I feel like you would see that like being in like Louisiana though too or something
They
like
don't.
that.
They're
They have
not. They don't have no.
it's not a, no. I'm not saying Jamaican. I'm just saying like how
How heavy their
thickly
accent,
they yeah and
but
like
it's still
all the
English.
different slang that they have and all this other stuff.
It's still English, and you still can like, yeah. It was never. I've never been in. It was never like that where I was just completely out the loop. More so when I'd be in New Orleans growing up, I would be more so like fascinated and be like, oh, I'm gonna take that slang or add that to my. But I could follow the whole conversation. I didn't know what these dudes was talking about at all. At all. I know they were talking about me. I didn't know they was talking about some. I didn't know what. I didn't know what was going on. And
That's funny.
it was a far drive. Well, somewhat of a far drive, but yeah, too. We was in their car for like 20 minutes, so like
Okay.
yeah, it was interesting. It was a very interesting experience. I told you about the girl. That's the thing about I don't know if I like Ubering late on the weekends, like and driving drunk people, cause they're annoying.
They are,
Very annoying.
but that's where you get the most money though.
You do get a lot of money, and because I picked up this one girl, and I was sitting on the corner forever because she just was so scared to get, because it was clearly me, but I could hear her talking on. She was like across the street, and say I'm
Mm.
like parked across the street, and I got my hazards on. She probably clearly knows I'm waiting for her, but I could hear her be
Uh-huh.
like, "Well, I don't know if this is a car. I want to be safe," and I could just hear her. She was drunk, and like so we get into the car and she's I think she's Asian. This Asian chick. I guess she's going to meet her boyfriend because he was the one who set it up. So his name was on the ride. Because at first I was looking for a dude,
Oh,
but he called me and was
okay.
like, "Oh, you're picking up my girlfriend and whatever." And so she gets in the car and just has all these requests. I'm about to be like, girl, just sit back and just ride. Because she was like, can you roll the windows down? And it was pretty chilly. It wasn't like hot at all. But she was like, can you roll the windows down? So she must have been on something or like not just drunk. Because who wants the window down in like 30
I
degree weather?
mean, when you're drunk, your body temperature goes up though too.
That's true. And then
You get hot.
she was requesting specific songs, like very specific, like Travis Scott songs. That I was like, she wanted me to play a Drake song, and she was so surprised. She was like, "Have you ever heard of Bria's Interlude?" And I was like, "Yeah, by Drake." She's like, "How'd you know?" And I was like, "That's a pretty like popular song. I don't like. What are you talking about?" And then she wanted to hear Travis Scott, and it was just an aggravating. I met these two white ladies from California.
Mm.
They were interesting. Um, but yeah, it's you just meet a lot of people. I gave these people from the UK a ride once, and they
Mm.
the dude in the front seat, he was real drunk, so he was falling asleep in the front seat, just out. I actually tape recorded him. Actually, I did. I got a little footage of that. But he was out. He was just like and I still got his iPhone charger because he forgot it in a haste. He was out, and so Yeah, you just it's a lot of interesting experiences. And I've also realized Nashville has a lot of attractive white women, and Dr. Umar might have to stall me out. He might just have to let this roll.
Oh, shoot.
I'm just kidding, but I've given a couple attractive white women a ride, and I'm like, dang, this and that, okay, Nashville.
I mean, I don't know why you expected anything different.
I gave a chick from Warner a ride, actually randomly.
Mm-hmm.
She was attractive too, but we was like riding, and I was just sometimes you make small talk, and she was like, oh, where are you? She's like, oh, I asked her, well, like, are you from? Because most people aren't from Nashville. You find there's a lot of transplants, and she's like, oh, I'm from
Yeah.
Ohio. So instantly I perk up, but I was like, I'm not thinking. And she was like, oh, I'm from Youngstown. Then she was like, oh, I'm from Youngstown, and I was like, oh, I'm from Warren, because it's like right there. And he's like, oh, I'm actually from Warren, but I say Youngstown because people have never heard of Warren. And then we just started like
Mm.
chopping. We didn't know somebody because she's white, and white people and black people don't really
Right.
mingle in Warren. But still, we knew same places. We shoot some restaurants and stuff. She knew, but yeah, it's been an interesting experience all the way around. I like it though. I like meeting all these random people, like with their stories and whatnot.
Interesting. Yeah. When I did it, I think I met this couple from like Spain or Italy or something, and that was I don't actually remember what we talked about, but I remember it was an interesting conversation because just like their experience of Detroit and
Yeah.
what they liked about it was like different than what I would normally hear.
Word.
But yeah, driving drunk people, my concern was always somebody gonna throw up in the car, and I would have been
that too, that part, yeah.
that was always a fear of mine. But Tasha didn't like me doing it. That's why I stopped. It was before we were even married. She was just scared because she had been hearing all the story. Somebody's gonna murder you.
That drunk girl asked me, was like, cause she was being belligerent in the back seat and was just like, I'm gonna hit. I said something smart because she was irritating me. She's like, I'm gonna hit you, and then she was just like, have you ever been afraid of somebody hitting you? Like, what would you do if somebody like really hit you or whatever? Are you afraid of that? And I was like, girl, if you don't get out this car, leave me alone.
Nah, because some of the people like. I don't know if it's like that in Nashville, but here, even the people that come downtown, they're usually coming from, or not usually, but most people don't actually live in the city.
Right.
So I have to drive some distance in many cases to get people places. So one time, I don't even know where I was at. I was like out in the boonies somewhere, and it was really late at night. Yeah. And I was just like, it was a little nerve-wracking, but I think that was like the last straw for Tasha. She was like, yeah, I don't know. She was just like really uneasy about I was doing Lyft specifically, and she didn't like it, but that's what I learned is like the best time to do it is like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Especially on like a holiday. So I did it. It was Halloween weekend. And I made more in that day than I did in like the previous month that I was doing Lyft.
Dang, that's crazy.
It was really becoming something that I was like, what's the point of this? Like, this is dumb trying to just make this work within my schedule. So I need to try a night where I like took a nap, woke up at like 1:30 and just went out and made a killing. But
man,
yeah. That's just the only way to really make it feasible for me, and I can't sustain it.
Yeah, but no, I one time I gave a dude a ride out to this country boony town it was like an hour ride. It was 60 whole minutes of us together in the car.
Dang.
And what's weird is I picked him up from jail. That's the story I should have told. I picked him up from jail.
How did I start with that?
I picked him up from a jail and like took him all the way out to the boonies. And I didn't, but he was young looking, but I don't know. I wasn't really worried, but cause he like was with like some other. It looked like he was like his probation officer was with him or something. I don't know, but like yeah, I took him far. And if I had known he was going after, I wouldn't have took the ride. But it don't tell you with Uber, it don't tell you till you pick them up where they going, so you can't really
Right.
like
Yeah,
that's
and
that's
I don't like that.
yeah
But I also thought about, like, I mean, that's how taxis work, though.
yeah
Like, you don't know until somebody gets in the car.
right
But I still don't like it. Like, we have the technology. Like, they already put in where they're going.
yeah
So why can't I just see where they're going and I can accept or deny it if I
yeah
want?
yeah. I wouldn't have took that ride. It was so far. Oh my gosh, I didn't even have a signal like the last 10 miles.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, but I be like the rides I've given out to the boonies. I'd be like, this might not be too bad living out here. They got a lot of land out here. They got a lot more room out here. Yeah, it's just no black people, but yeah, it's,
That's what I'm scared of, though.
yeah,
I've always wanted to live like out in the country. Whenever we would be driving places in Dayton and just seeing just long open roads and all these fields and stuff. But then I learned more about what it takes to actually live in those places, and then also realizing that I'd probably be the only person of color in these
yeah.
places. I'm like, I don't know
You could
anymore.
be like the Dave Chappelle community though.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey Kyle, hey man, what's up? Oh, that's Kyle. Like, yeah.
But like, I don't want to have to deal with septic tanks and
Oh, right.
purifying my own water with sulfur.
Oh,
And
that's the
I
country
didn't-
country. You really talking
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
It's like really
yeah.
out in the country.
Ooh, yeah. I don't
Like
know
not
about
on
that
the
either.
city.
Yeah. Yikes.
But that was what I envisioned, and then I learned, being this far out isn't actually all that great. Because I know people that had houses out there, and like their water tastes and smell like eggs because they use sulfur to purify it. And like, nah, I can't do this.
My dad always got a harebrained idea because he keep mentioning like you can get a USDA home loan. Have you heard of that? You can get a home loan with USDA with certain parts of the country that are more rural, that classifies rural, and you can get
like is it grade A? Like they give you beef with it or something?
No, it's just the US. It's just they just run it. It's not you don't get any eggs with it or some chickens.
Oh,
To
okay. Yeah, I didn't know if it was like specifically for agriculture.
No,
you have to do agriculture.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's even terms. It's just you live in I think they're just trying to incentivize people live and move into rural areas. I don't think it's like it's no like incentive to like actually start farming or nothing like that. But I'm like, this ain't.
That's really interesting that they're incentivizing to move to rural areas.
Yeah, so that's they get a home loan for the U.S. so you can buy a house and they'll. Yeah, it's out there, but it's like that ain't. I don't know about that. I don't know if I may even ever be able to buy a house actually right at this point, the way it's looking. But I don't wish this on nobody, but I'm kind of looking for that bubble to just do a little, not burst, but just shrink.
Yeah, I feel like it has to happen. Like, I mean, it ebbs and flows. And
I feel like it'd be smart at this point to wait for it to shrink, because like you don't want to be caught holding you know what I mean? You don't want to overpay for a house and then the bubble shrinks or it bursts altogether and then your house is half the value it was when you first bought it. That's what I wouldn't. That'd be terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like housing prices are being really inflated in my neighborhood. So that's why I'm like, I'll see. I'll wait until this house has more value and then maybe start thinking of buying something else.
Yeah.
Because I'm done with this house. But I'm done with
them
this
rats
car.
getting you out of there.
House.
They're like they hearing this. They're like the plan is working. It's like Pinky and the Brain down there. They're like the plan is coming together. They're like
it's not rats. It's mice.
Saying Pinky and the Brain were mice, weren't they?
They were, but I'm saying if I ever saw a rat anywhere in or around my house, I would burn it down. I would just burn the whole house down. That's the only option to get rid of a rat. I Couldn't do it.
Mm,
Do you know how big rats
they're
are?
huge. I've seen some in New York. That's the only time I've seen rats is in New York.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard something about rats and how like the highest population of rats in a U.S. city is not New York. Surprisingly,
What city is it?
I don't remember, but I know it wasn't New York.
Hmm.
I think Chicago was like number 3.
I could see
Um,
Chicago. I definitely could see Chicago.
I want to say it was like New Orleans was number 1.
I've never seen rats in New Orleans, but I'm not ruling. I think any old city would have a lot of rats in general.
Yeah,
So like New Orleans, New York, Philly, Chicago.
or just be training turtles in the sewers.
Master Splinter down there. uh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I could see all the old cities having a lot of rats. Yeah, haven't seen any rats in
um,
Tennessee though. For the record, knock on wood. What you about to say?
what kind of pizza should I get?
I would say pepperoni, but that might sound boring to you. So take my suggestion with a grain of
I
salt.
mean, I meant like brand specifically.
Oh, Jets.
I'm looking at Jets right now, but
I love Jets. I think so
I'm
highly of
kind of.
Jets as a chain. For a chain, they're great. I don't know what local spots they get. I would always veer towards more local spots, but Nashville don't really get nothing local to my knowledge. I'm sure it does, but nowhere near me. So I go to Jets because that's the closest one.
I mean, Jets is local
Well, touche.
and a chain. It's from Detroit. That's where it started.
Right. I remember you telling me that. They named Detroit as having some of the best pizza in the country. Detroit was like number 1 or number 2 or
I
something.
saw that. I thought that was weird, but it also makes sense just being from here because there's a lot of pizza chains that came from Detroit.
Mm.
Or I can't say a lot. I know Jets. There's Little Caesars.
And then Papa John's, right?
I don't.
I
I
thought
don't know.
I thought
I
Papa
don't think
John's was
Papa
from
John's.
Detroit. I'm about to Google that.
But that's actually my other option is between Jets and Papa John's right
You
now.
can't
But
support
I'm also
Papa
thinking
John's. He can't give up the N word until he can completely remove the N word from his vocabulary.
he ain't the CEO anymore. Shaq is, in my opinion.
Shaq is a CEO.
I mean, Shaq is like the face of the company now. Papa John ain't anymore.
Oh no.
I'm cool with it. That racism tastes delicious.
No, it was started in Indiana. My bad, Papa John's. No wonder he racist. That's the hometown of the KKK too. No wonder. That's a shame. I used to love Papa John's growing up too. That was my favorite pizza spot chain growing up.
My favorite was Pizza Hut.
Yeah, I never liked the Hut. It was okay, but I ain't like it over
Blasphemy.
Papa John's. I like.
All right.
You about to go do
Nah,
that?
go.
Oh.
You saying something?
Oh no, I was just saying. I think I always liked how sweet Papa John's sauce was compared to Pizza Hut's. They had a little sweeter, just a twinge sweeter. But
Yeah, I like their crust. Their crust is good
that
too.
too. That part, yeah,
And their cheese.
yeah.
I like pizza all around.
But does pizza like you?
Let's not talk about that. It makes me sad.
My bad. I'm sorry.
When love isn't reciprocated, it makes me sad. Oh,
I know this already. This is Funkin' for Jamaica.
There you go.
Yeah, I knew that off rip.
What's the artist though?
Tom Brown.
All right.
Me and him share a birthday, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah, which is all the confirmation I need. I'm on the right path. But yeah, that's Tom Brown. I watched an interview of his. He's a really interesting dude. But yeah, all right. I guess I gotta go. Boom, 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 boom.
Payback. The big payback.
Yeah.
James Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got down with my girlfriend.
That ain't right.
That ain't right. That's one of my favorite lyrics of all time.
Yeah. I don't know karate, but I know crazy. Shout out to Jane, the original rapper, the first rapper ever in history. Low key. Like the first mumble rapper, really. If we really gonna do the science. Real talk. Like the first real mumble rapper in history. On the low. On the low.
Oh, that's funny.
If you do the science.
I
Hey,
never thought about
we gotta
that.
update the people on this Will Smith situation, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I don't know if you saw it, but Tony Rock last week was doing stand up at a show, and he went off about the situation. There, he's mad. He's really mad about. He was like, "You gonna put your hands on my brother?" Then he sent out a few threats, and then which I didn't know was that many Rock brothers. It's 10 Rocks.
Is it?
There's 10. He said
10 siblings?
He said it's 10 Rock brothers. Yeah.
But it was only 2 on the show.
I think you couldn't do 10 kids on the. I guess you could have did 10 kids, but,
Right.
But yeah, it's 10 Rock brothers, which I knew Chris wasn't the oldest. I knew it was some older siblings, but I didn't know how many. But yeah, it's 10 Rocks. Yeah.
Dang.
I don't know if they all got the same, mom and I don't know all that, but yeah, it's 10 Rocks. And so he was like, going in. Like, he was like, Will, you couldn't control your, he said all that. Yeah, he went in.
Ooh.
And then just earlier today, allegedly, this is alleged. Nobody's like confirmed this. But Jada came out, allegedly Jada came out and said that Will overreacted by slapping Chris. Allegedly, though. That's alleged. So I don't know if that's true or not. Not necessarily, but yeah, that's the updates. And all these Hollywood studios is trying to take Will's movies away. Now that I don't like, cause they've let way worse slide.
Right.
Way worse.
Like they're trying to so they're not available to be watched.
No. They're like projects that he had worked on or was coming out or was developing. All that stuff is on pause right now. Reportedly.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Which don't do that. Don't be a hypocrite, Hollywood, because y'all have let a lot of worse stuff slide. A lot of pedophilia
Way worse stuff. Right.
Yeah.
That's immediately what I was thinking of. Especially I can't even think of anybody's name, but many directors.
Woody Allen.
It's like almost Woody Allen. I'm thinking of there's this French dude.
Roman Polanski.
Is that his name?
Yeah, he fled the country when he had the charges. Yeah, that's Roman Polanski. Yeah.
And he's still out here making movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, so Hollywood, don't do that to my boy Will. They said they said they paused Bad Boys 4, which I was kind of okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
That could have stayed.
I
that
didn't
could
even
stay
know
on
they were
ice.
making another one.
Yeah. That can stay on ice. That's all right. We don't need that. But all this other
that
stuff.
Last one.
Oh my
was
god.
Hot guard. Was hot.
It was awful. I was like, my goodness.
I had to break it down gently to a dude who was like, he really thought it was a good movie, like legit.
No.
And I was just like, it was terrible.
No.
And he was just like, what? Terrible though? He's like, I guess I can see it not being, you not liking it, but terrible.
They hurting the
And
brand.
then even his brother was like, yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, they hurting the brand.
It was so bad. But then I went back because I was like, are 1 and 2 this bad? And I'm just older now and I can see through it. And I went back and I was like, okay, no, it's not this bad.
No, they were not that. It's just 3 was just like.
It was so bad. like it's four. Do you know anything of the plot? Are they
They
continuing
was
with like
just
his
it
son?
was early, they don't I don't think they had nothing official. I
Oh,
think they was
very
just
early development.
yeah, he was reading scripts type of thing. That part of the
Okay.
yeah. But no, 3 was please spare
Oh,
us.
you know who needs to do an update is Family Guy. Respect your mom and your dad. Wipe your shoes when you come in the door. Somebody just mopped their floor.
A
They
post
need
slap
to.
Will Smith rap. Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Woo! Ha ha! Ha, ha. Talk about my wife.
uh, oh man, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they're gonna tackle that at some point. Knowing them, knowing Family Guy.
I haven't watched Family Guy in so long.
Me either, honestly. But it's one of those shows you don't need to keep. It's you could pop in whenever and you'll be good.
True.
You don't gotta.
Nah, that's interesting. More so because I just didn't know there were so many rocks. But that's really the takeaway.
Will gotta watch his back.
They all gonna come for him.
You gotta watch his
But
back.
it's like, but why though? Like, why would they come for him for a slap when it's actually been benefiting Chris Rock's career?
Has it?
I think so. I mean, at least right now. I don't know. Maybe not the trajectory of the rest of his career, which I do have another thought on that. Now let's tell you. But like his sales for all his shows right now are through the roof.
Oh,
And
right. I did see that. And I heard he had to tell some people, one crowd, that they was like, F Will Smith. They was chanting that. And he had to be like, yo, don't settle down.
yeah.
But yeah.
But he I don't know, but because I also saw like maybe it was like his first show or first couple shows after the incident, and he was like, "Yeah, I had a whole set prepared, but I guess we talking about this now," and that would irk me so much as a creator.
Oh,
That
right.
like
Yeah.
everybody just wants to hear about
Yeah.
this thing
And
that happened.
he's not a, I'll be studying all the comics. So he's not a
Right.
comedian that does off the cuff stuff. That's really not his strength.
Yeah.
Per se. He does more. He's like everybody. What I've heard about him, he like really like nails his sets down and like kind of he like knows them in and out and like doesn't really veer too far off of that. He's not somebody that's gonna be like freestyling. So I'm sure that's not something he wants to do or is comfortable necessarily doing. Cause yeah, he's one of those comedians that like writes everything and has to have it like kind of mapped out.
Yeah.
He
But
ain't Sinbad. Sinbad just go up there and do whatever.
He can do whatever.
Yeah. I love Sinbad.
He's amazing. You about to say something?
No. What you about to say? I was just looking.
I'm also concerned though of longevity of this, like people that I guess didn't really know Chris Rock like that, because I still feel like he has a more like a niche audience. Like comedians know him,
right? Yeah.
He's not like on the level of Will Smith, and I feel like in some circles he'll just be known as the person that Will Smith slapped, and not it's like Chris Rock, the
I don't know
illustrious comedian.
I don't know. I do see what you mean, but I feel like he's not as famous as Will Smith, but he's pretty high up there though. I feel like. I don't see this. Well, I think it's always gonna be for both of them. It's one of those things. It's always gonna be like a top. You know what I mean? You gonna always think about this or 9/11. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. That was a joke. But no, but it is gonna be like
as if we didn't live during
9/11. Right. I'm kidding, and that was I don't take that light. I wasn't trying to make light of 9/11 either. But I do think this is something that's like it's always gonna stick with both of them. But I also think he's famous enough that whatever work he does isn't necessarily like he can. I think he can transcend this. I guess is my point. But yeah, but you're right though. There are people probably who just now found out about him, and not just, but just like came on their radar to some extent. Like Chris, he's always been
Right.
around, but you're right. He's always been kind of like somebody that's like either you like him or you don't. That's how I find Chris Rock is one of those people. He's kind of polarizing in that way. Like Chris, whereas Will Smith's universally beloved, I feel like Chris Rock is like, I know people who don't think he's funny at all, and I know people who think he's a genius. I tend to fall more on the genius side of things, but yeah.
It's interesting. I just met somebody before all this happened that doesn't like Will Smith, and I was like really thrown off. I was like, "Wait, really? How?
What did he do to you? You trying to figure out the backstory? Like, what, y'all had a negative interaction? He slapped you?
Because somebody was talking about the new Bel Air.
Word. Yeah, which apparently is kind of good.
And he was just like, "Oh, nah, I ain't. They did a reboot of that." He's like, "Nah, I ain't dealing that. I ain't like the first one. It was just too silly for me." And and he was just like, "Yeah, honestly, I don't really like anything that he's done. Like, I don't like any of his movies." And I was like, "Wait, what? Like,
that is kind of crazy.
Like nothing. Like he's done a
You ain't
large
like Wild
range
Wild
of
West?
movies. But he was like, "But I like the man." And I was like, "Wait, but how do you like him?" And he was just like, "Well, because he figured out how to make money. Like he figured out how to make a lot of money. And I respect anybody who can figure out how to make a lot of money." And I'm just like, okay.
That's such a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, my goodness. I hate when I can't think of the word zoo. It's like just a very short-sighted view of Will Smith. If like he's just somebody who just figured out how to make money. Like he's some immigrant that opened up a corner store and is providing for his family. That is like, that's a gross oversimplification. That's the word. Very oversimplification of who Will Smith is and what he's done.
Right.
But okay, I get you, bruh.
Yeah. But then that led to a conversation, and he like told us that he really likes this dude named Cali Buds. And I actually remember this song when it came out, and he was just like, "Yeah, it's some new guy." And I'm like, "Bro, this song came out in like 2004. Like what?"
That name did sound familiar, but I was like, I don't know where I heard that name. 2004? Was he in prison? This dude you was talking to?
I don't think so.
You sure?
Not that I know of.
You know, sometimes people be in time warps. They come out of prison and they think the world is the same.
That is very true.
You know.
But he was like, "Yeah, it's this new thing." And I'm just like, "Bro, this song is so old." And I was like, I thought he was a one-hit wonder. I didn't know he even had other songs.
He's like, it's this new artist, Chingy. You heard of him? Now that's Chingy. He killing the game. That nigga went to prison. He been in prison for like 20 years.
I'm surprised at how often Chingy comes up in our podcast. Like,
friend of the pod, Chingy. Friend of the pod. I would love to have Chingy on here.
It was I'm just like, so you go in on Will Smith like this, but Cali Buds is like in high esteem in your life? Like,
I can't name a song of his. I'm sure if you played it though, I'd be like, oh, okay.
But you remember it. And I do remember liking that song when it came out, and I think it's like Come Around. I think that's the name of the song. But he had a second song that he liked that he was talking about.
He like the second single of a one-hit wonder. That's some deep fandom.
Yeah,
that's some deep, man.
And I was like, oh, I honestly didn't know he had another song, but it was funny. That's it.
I haven't heard this. I don't remember.
I think. Let it play. You probably will.
Oh, Okay, I have heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah.
That was like number 8 on the 106 in Park Top 10. It like made it up to there. I feel it. That's one of them songs. Like he
Yeah,
barely.
it
I get
is.
it. I get it.
It is. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't even remember how it led to that. But just
He was in prison.
Khaled,
You should have asked, got some background
Khaled
on
Buds over Will
him.
Smith.
Over getting jiggy with it? I think not. Now that's where I draw the line. I respect people's opinions, but all right, and we no need for hyperbole, man.
Like Men in Black, like come on, dude.
Yeah,
And I'll admit, the more I've been thinking about Will Smith and his movies, I feel like the majority of them I don't like that much. To be honest, he has a few that I'm just really into.
it's
though.
like 50-50. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His peaks be up here though. He got some ones
Right.
where it's like, yo, that was a Ali, Bad Boys, obviously.
Independence Day.
Yeah, Wild West. I personally love Wild West.
I haven't seen it in such a long time, but I don't remember disliking it.
Yeah, I love me
But
some
I
Wild
also
Wild
can
West.
see why people would not like it though.
Yeah, I love Wild West. What's the other one? Well, I Am Legend was great.
I Am Legend is great. I Robot,
Yeah,
like he's got a lot of good ones. I'm maybe just more recently he's been missing a lot in my opinion.
yeah.
Like I still haven't seen Gemini Man. It just doesn't look that good to me.
I probably won't see it. I'm good. Sorry, Will.
I think after I saw Bright, like Bright just wasn't good.
Oh, I couldn't
that
get into
Netflix
Bright. I
movie.
tried 10 minutes. I was, I'm not watching this. Sorry, Will. I'm sorry.
And that movie he did with his son.
What you talking about?
New
Pursuit
Earth,
of
like
Happiness?
New Earth. No, when he was older. It was like when Jaden was supposed to be like the up and coming star, and then after that movie, he was just like, yeah, maybe music's my thing.
Touche.
But I would love to give my kids a platform where they can do that. They can have like a blockbuster movie, and then be like, nah, this ain't working out. Like, you know how dope that is?
Yeah.
And then just go, I'm gonna do music, and he's good at music, so he picked the right
He is
choice.
good. I like everything I've heard of Jaden's is pretty good. Yeah.
We'll probably get flagged for that by the manosphere
The Manosphere
for liking Jaden Smith.
Oh, because he wear dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm gonna wear dresses.
Everybody looks at him as being weird, and I just think it's funny because I'm like, honestly, I just think he's on another level.
He on a different frequency than us. The rest of us, mere humans, us mere mortals.
Because I'm like, he had the freedom of a rich father for one, and then also,
and he emancipated himself at like 14, so he been out. He been off the porch since then.
Right, and I'm like, I respect dude a lot.
Yeah,
and he does a lot of stuff for people. Like he don't get a lot of accolades for it. He don't usually do it for publicity, but he does it. Like he's done more for Flint than people in Michigan.
Than the governor.
And I just like respect that.
Yeah,
he should be a role model to many people.
Yeah, you
but
are.
They just look at him as weird.
You've been a Jaden Smith stan for a while, for a long time.
I have.
Yeah,
I have.
Yeah,
he's a bright young man.
Should we? Well, no, we kind of touched on that last week. We do get a touch. LeBron about to miss the playoffs, bro, and Kevin Durant possibly.
Where are their standings?
Well,
I haven't been following.
So tonight, if the Lakers lose, it's Tuesday. We recording this on a Tuesday. If the Lakers lose tonight and the Spurs win tonight, the Lakers are out of completely of everything. They can't even make the play.
They don't even do the play-in.
Yeah, they out of the
Yo,
everything.
what? I mean, he wasn't in it yet last year either.
No, he wasn't. He made the playoffs last year. They just lost in the first round.
Right. Yes, they did beat the Warriors. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then played the Grizzlies.
No, they played. No, they went straight to. They went to the playoffs after that, and then the Grizzlies played the Warriors, and Grizzlies beat the Warriors. And then
Oh, the Lakers went straight in.
yeah. They was in the 7-8 matchup. If you the 7-8 matchup, they automatically go. The winner automatically go in.
It's a 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Brooklyn hanging on by a thread too. They in the play-in though. They guaranteed a play-in spot. Actually, are they? No, they are. They are guaranteed a play-in spot, but they not. They gotta win. If the spot they in now, they gonna have to win 2 games to make it in, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of crazy.
Can we talk about Kevin Durant for a second?
Yeah.
I have a rant about him that has always bothered me about Kevin Durant.
Go ahead.
He's amazing.
Right.
Like probably top 20 to ever do it.
Yeah. I say top 12, top 13, top 14, really.
He don't lift weights. Like, I mean, I'm sure he does, but he's never like, I don't know.
You want to be super bulky?
I'm not saying super bulky. I do think sometimes of like, what if just imagine, what if Kevin Durant was built like Giannis? Could still do everything he's doing, but was built like Giannis.
But that might not be his body type, though. You gotta, like, your body has to be able to, like, or his body, it's also a matter of body composition, too. Because Kevin Durant is listed at 240 pounds, and Giannis is listed at, like, 240 pounds, like a little over 240 pounds.
Right.
But they have different body compositions.
I know, but at the same time, you have like the best trainers, the best dietitians, nutritionists, all this stuff. They can make him put on more muscle, but he doesn't want to. Like that's always been.
But I've never seen him get pushed around. Not at this point. The younger Kevin Durant used to, but.
And I don't even mean that. I mean, in terms of body conditioning, he's injured a lot. I feel like if he was more conditioned in his body, had more like resistance on his tendons, muscles, all that stuff, I think he would have played more. Because what made me start thinking about it was when he broke the record of like 25,000 points.
Word.
And then he was like, it should be 30,000. And I'm like, no, it shouldn't. You made this decision. Like you could have gotten yourself into a condition where these injuries wouldn't plague you as much as they have.
I don't necessarily know if I think it would be any different, because I think the way his body is, I think for one, I do think he works really hard on just in general in basketball. Like he does train really hard, but I also think like he's a 7-foot dude. He's like 7'1", and he moves like a guard. And like anytime, and he's had foot injuries even when he was younger. And anytime you have a foot injury as a 7-footer, you're always gonna have like reoccurring leg injuries. Like it's just like that level of stress, that height, it's always gonna be some issues. So I don't know if he can there's much he can do different. The cat who you need to be ranting about is Anthony Davis. That's who.
Him too.
He made a glass. Yeah.
Street clothes.
That's who you need to rant about.
That's his nickname.
Kevin is about to be 34 later on. You know, Anthony Davis is 28, 29.
Right. When somebody reminded me how old he is, I was like, dang, I forgot he was still that young.
Yeah.
But yeah, street clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you there, but I still think, I'm just saying, and again, I'm not really saying anything less of Kevin Durant because, again, he's amazing. I love Kevin Durant. And, like, he's also one of those people that when they do get injured and they come back, normally there's, like, a warm-up phase. They got to get used to the pace and everything.
He'll come right back.
He'll come right back and drop 30, 40.
Yeah.
Like he never missed a day.
Yeah.
He's that dominant. He's that good. I'm just saying, physical conditioning is like so important. And
he
like
is conditioned. He just gets hurt a lot. Some injuries are unavoidable though. Like it's not like it's not like he gets like hamstrings or like he has like those are just real injuries. Like his knee sprained his. You can't, some stuff you just can't help. I don't matter how much you train.
but I feel like he can
Everybody's
bounce back
not
from it.
LeBron either. LeBron is like an alien.
That's true. That's true. I'm not comparing him to LeBron. LeBron is a freak of nature.
Yeah.
But I mean, Kevin Durant in his own right is also a freak of nature
Yeah.
to be his height and move the way he does. And maybe I am unfairly comparing him to other stars like Giannis, for example, who had a similar injury last year in the playoffs, but he bounced right back from it.
Right.
And part of me is saying because of conditioning. But I don't know the full story. You're right. There could be some other
Coming from my dude Kevin.
There's some other genetic dispositions, but I still think at the end of the day, physical conditioning, like that's a thing that Bruce Lee was very heavy on. Bruce Lee's one of my favorite people.
Bruce Lee was 5'6" and 120 pounds.
And strong as hell. Like
Kevin is strong. He's not like he's not strong.
He is, but I'm saying like the way that Bruce conditioned his muscles and like all that stuff, like all the
It's two different sports though.
physiology.
It's hard to like. It's so much stress that happens on a basketball player. Like it's just so you can't like compare it. Like his running and jumping and like up and down. It's like impossible to compare the two. It's apples to oranges.
I'm not saying I'm comparing him to Bruce. I'm just saying Bruce talks a lot about that, and like a lot of physiologists and stuff like talk about these things. And I'm interested in that world because I got all these ailments myself. So, like, I'm not saying I get his struggle, but even Curry though, like Curry had a similar thing, like very weak ankles. They had the most expensive ankles in the league, and he like did a lot of rehab and conditioning. We all thought that his frame was like really small. He couldn't do it, but then he put on more weight in the last couple years. I'm just saying, Kevin Durant could have done it if he wanted to, but he didn't want to.
I don't know about all that.
I think he could have.
I think he's been fine. He just, some injuries are just unavoidable. And you see what happened to Steph with his foot. I mean, obviously he got ran into, but still though, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Some stuff is just, it don't get matter how like, and Kevin Durant's one of the people I know for a fact trains really hard and is really strong now at this point. He's not like he was when he first came in the league and getting bodied up, but
right.
He just 7'1" and moves like it's just something. Yeah, it's like he's not gonna be able to like avoid a lot of stuff the way he plays and the way this type of stress that basketball puts on your body. It is what it is. I hope he makes a run though this playoffs though. I really want Kevin to make the playoffs. Like I really feel like they will scare some teams, but I don't know. They might not have it because they keep losing and
they do, especially the games.
And they've been losing games that he's been going off. Like
right.
He put up 50 over the weekend and they still lost.
To who?
The Atlanta. He put up he's had his career high. He scored 56.
That's his career high?
Yeah, which is crazy, right? You think it'd be higher,
I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah. But he talks about how he doesn't care about scoring like big numbers. He just likes scoring consistently more so than scoring high. But yeah, I don't know.
Who you think got it? You still going with Milwaukee for everything?
I think it's gonna be a rematch with Phoenix and Milwaukee, and I go back and forth. Like today, I probably will pick I'm probably gonna still root for Phoenix, but I could see Milwaukee just taking it again though, just because Giannis is like he's a monster now. It might be his league now. It really might. It might just be his league right now, and everybody else just gotta just take a back seat. But I hope Phoenix gets it just for Chris Paul to get a ring, but I do think they're going to rematch though. That's my finals pick is Phoenix. I think it's going to be a rematch. I would love to see Kevin Durant and them in it, or like Kevin make a crazy run and remind niggas who he is, but I don't know if that's going to happen this year. Freaking James Harden.
You still mad at him?
I don't respect him at all.
I don't really either.
I hope they lose first round. I really hope the Nets play the Sixers. I don't think that's gonna happen right now the way it is, but I was really hoping the Sixers played the Nets first round and lose, and then Cause forget you, James Harden. You just soft. I just don't respect him. Just don't have no respect for him.
It's funny. I used to fear him so much.
I don't know
When
why. I've never
the
feared.
Rockets at their prime,
I've never feared James
with like
Harden.
him and Chris Paul
I've never.
against.
He never put no fear in me. I always saw through him. I saw through that beard.
They were, whew, they were so good. Still not better than the Warriors at the time, clearly, but they were really good. Now, man, the Blazers, they always put some fear in me.
The
When I was rooting for
Blazers?
when I was rooting for the Warriors, because Lillard and McCollum, like they were such prolific scorers,
Nah.
and I always thought they could have matched up with them, but I didn't learn until later as I really started paying more attention. They didn't really have like the rest of the pieces.
No,
to actually do
after
it.
them, it was a drop off from
Right.
them to a big drop
And
off.
that's really why they never did it.
Yeah.
But even though some of those games were close, but most of them were blowouts.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a pick?
Again, I haven't really been paying attention that much lately, so I don't really know. I mean,
No Warriors? You gonna not gonna pick your
think-
Warriors?
I just don't think they're going to make it that far.
Yeah, I don't think so. I thought so at the beginning of the year. I thought this might be it for
I
the
did
year,
too.
but no. I don't
After like All-Star break, I was like, I don't know.
think- yeah.
Even a little bit before it, when I was just like, okay, they're in a little slump, but then they still didn't really get out of it. And then like they had some pieces come back, but then Curry's out now, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I think if Curry's back and they like gel well, they could make it to like, it'd be them and the Suns in the finals, the conference
next year though,
finals.
they might. That next year might be that year though, or they could definitely make it once everybody's they get a full year together, everybody back.
Yeah.
They definitely can be a team to look out for. But I agree
Yeah.
though. I don't think this year is gonna be their year, especially with Curry coming right back at the playoffs because they rule him out for the season, so he ain't gonna be back till, and that's never
Right.
really a good thing. So yeah.
Right. But even I don't know. I feel like you owe Klay Thompson an apology though. You
Yeah.
and many other people. You and many other people.
He did. He went off they beat the Jazz. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
They hit 8 straight threes or what? 6? It was 6 straight threes, and won the game.
Yeah.
But this the Jazz. Nobody likes the Jazz.
It is the Jazz.
Mm.
I feel so bad for Donovan Mitchell.
Nobody
like-
likes the Jazz. Ugh.
He's so good, but I just think I don't know what it is about them. I feel like they have a lot of good pieces.
No, they
But they
good. They
just-
respectable, but it's the
They
Jazz.
just can't.
though.
They
It's
just can't
ugh.
do it. Like I don't know why they
No.
just
I wouldn't.
like they never should have lost to the Nuggets a few years ago.
Oh no,
in the
they
bubble.
was and I was actually rooting for them, which is weird to say now. Ugh, but I was actually rooting for them in that series, but they lost. Yeah, but no, not the Jazz. Anybody but the Jazz. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see though. I do still root for the Suns though. Chris Paul. I really want him to get a ring. Want Devin Booker to get a taste of that too while he's young.
Yeah,
I
because they
think-
like could be a team of the even if the Chris Ball whenever he retires, they still got everybody else is young, so they
Yeah.
could be good for a long time to come. But yeah, I don't know. To be honest, is he a monster, man? I just don't know if anybody can beat them.
Ooh, I'm trying to think.
Nope, not.
I don't know. No, you said no. There's nobody.
Nah, I mean, maybe you could. I would say Boston, but they lost their best inside player. They lost their best center. They starting center.
What happened? He
Boston's
got
been really
injured?
good. Yeah, he got hurt. He hurt his knee. He tore his meniscus. Boston's been really good actually since the beginning, since the new year. They've been actually really, really good. Um,
Yeah,
but I
I've
don't.
been following them a little bit.
Yeah, that Boston is they might actually make it might be them and Milwaukee in the Eastern Finals if they not on the same side of the bracket. But yeah, I don't believe in Philly. I don't believe in Miami either, really. Toronto is scary. I think any team that plays Toronto has to be like afraid.
Mm.
And obviously the Nets, but I don't. Again, like I said, the Nets they got a long road ahead of them to get in. I think anybody could do it is Kevin Durant, but yeah,
True.
the East ain't looking as strong as it once was. It's still gonna be fun and exciting, but I think Milwaukee might end. We might be like in a month or two be like, I don't know why we was doubting Giannis.
Hmm.
Cause he's got everything now. Like he can shoot threes now. He making free throws. He hitting the mid range. He's doing everything that people said he couldn't do now, which is even scarier combined with what he was doing before.
Is he hitting threes?
Yeah,
What, like 30%?
yeah, but he's still hitting. Like he's still a threat. It ain't like he's a threat now. He ain't shooting a bunch of them, but if he's open and he got it, he'll take it, and he's making them. He's making his free throws. Yeah, he's balling. He could be. He really my MVP pick, but I don't think he gonna get it because I think Embiid they gonna give it to Embiid because he ain't never been an MVP before. Because sometimes it be political like that. And,
Yeah, it is.
but yeah,
Like whoever is really hot and sustains that, even though I don't think there's a season that Giannis couldn't have won.
Yeah.
Same with like LeBron and all them. Like
Right.
he easily could have won like 10 years straight.
Right. Yeah.
But
if I had a little black box to put my Jesus in, I forgot the lyrics.
dang, come on.
I should have gone out and share him with my friends. I forgot the lyrics to that song. It's been years since I've sung that. I forgot.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I forgot that song. Dang.
You're the one that taught me that song.
I know. It's a camp song.
Mm-hmm. At first I thought you were singing Alabaster Box. I was like, oh, he going a deep cut on this one. Like he trying to bring a tearjerker out. My alabaster box.
I belong to you. I belong to you. Hey, I belong to you. I'm yours all alone. Mind, body, and soul. So won't you take me? Make me what you want to do. I belong to you. I belong to you. Hey, I belong to you. I'm yours all alone. Mind, body, and soul. So won't you take me? Listen to it. See you save my soul from a burning hell. Oh, yes, you did. And right now, I'm so glad I can tell everybody I belong to you. Yeah, I belong to you. I belong, you. I'm yours all alone. mind, body, and soul. So won't you take me? Listen to me. See, you're the spirit that helps me sleep at night. Then I wake up early in the morning, knowing everything all right. Everybody, I belong. Hee hee. I can't go as high as Rance. Rest in peace, Rance Allen. I'm about to cry.
I am too. If you would have kept going.